This is the fifth and final Dharma talk in the first gate of Kammasaka Zen. And it's about the Zen koan, that all beings are primarily Buddhas. In Zen Buddhism, with its emphasis on direct experience, and particularly intuitive understanding, it offers us a unique spiritual path that diverges from more conventional learning practices or religious practices. And among the most intriguing aspects of Zen are its koans, paradoxical questions or statements used as meditation tools to help provoke deep thought. Deep thought that challenges conventional thinking and that can lead practitioners towards enlightenment. One such koan is that all beings are primarily Buddhas. And this is attached to the fifth gate, or the first gate, fifth talk. This simple yet profound statement encapsulates a core tenet of Zen philosophy. It's about the inherent Buddha nature that is within all sentient beings. So in this fifth Dharma talk of the first gate of Kammasaka Zen, I want to investigate deeply into the meaning and the significance of this particular koan. I want to look at exploring its historical context, its philosophical implications, and also its practical applications within Zen practice itself. By examining the concept of Buddha nature, the role of koans in Zen training, and the transformative potential of recognising one's inherent Buddhahood, it's then we can better understand, come to realise, the profound wisdom that is encapsulated in this simple statement. Now, this historical context of Zen, known as koans, in Zen, is also known in Chan Buddhism in China. And it all originated back from the teachings of Bodhidharma, an Indian monk who travelled to China in the 6th century. Zen emphasises direct experience and the cultivation of an intuitive understanding of reality, often through meditation and also through the use of the koan. Now, these koans serve simply as tools to help break down the logical mind and to encourage the practitioners to transcend dualistic thinking and to look to access deeper layers of the consciousness itself. This use of koans became particularly prominent in the Rinzai school of Zen, where they are employed employed as a means to test and deepen a student's understanding. They are not meant to be solved through the use of intellectual reasoning, but instead designed to elicit a immediate non-conceptual response that reflects a deep apprehension of reality. So, all beings are primarily Buddhas is one such koan. And it's inviting practitioners to simply reflect on the nature of their true selves and to simply reflect on the essence of all beings. Understanding Buddha nature at the heart of the koan, that all beings are primarily Buddhas, it lies in the concept of Buddha nature. Buddha nature, a fundamental teaching in the Mahayana school of Buddhism, of which Zen is a part. Now, this Buddha nature refers to the inherent potential for enlightenment that simply exists in all sentient beings. It is the intrinsic quality of wisdom, a quality of compassion and purity that is simply obscured by our ignorance, by our delusion, and by our attachments. And it's according to this particular teaching that all beings possess the capability to realise their own true nature as Buddhas. I've heard it said we are all baby Buddhas. We just have to realise it. Regardless of our current state of mind or behaviour, we are already Buddhas. We just haven't recognised it yet. And it's this idea of Buddha nature which challenges the notion of inherent sinfulness or unworthiness found in some other teachings or other religious traditions. Instead, it asserts that every being without exception has the potential to awaken to their true nature and attain Buddhahood. And it's this particular view that fosters a sense of universal compassion and interconnectedness, as it applies that all beings are fundamentally the same. Fundamentally the same in their essence, despite their apparent differences. Now, it's the recognition of Buddha nature is not merely a intellectual understanding, but it is a experiential realization. It requires us to see beyond the superficial layers of the ego, beyond the layers of desires and fears, to the pure, unconditioned nature of the mind. Zen practice, with its emphasis on meditation, mindfulness, and the use of koans, aims to facilitate this realization, simply by helping practitioners to strip away the layers of delusion and to directly perceive their true selves or their true nature, their essence, their suchness, the person who they truly are. And it's the role of koans in Zen practice, koans like all beings are primarily Buddhas, which serves as a catalyst for awakening by challenging our practitioners to confront their preconceptions and to confront their habitual patterns of thought. But unlike conventional teachings, which often rely on a logical explanations and conceptual understanding, koans are designed to short-circuit the rational mind, designed to provoke an intuitive response. And in the practice of Zen, a student might be given a koan by their teacher to meditate on during their zazen, seated meditation. Now, this koan is not meant to be solved like a puzzle, but it rather is to be lived with and experienced fully. And it's this process of working with a koan often involves intense concentration and a willingness to face one's deepest fears, and also to face one's deepest doubts. From great doubts come great awakenings. So the teacher may ask the student to present their understanding of the koan in a private interview known as dokusan, where the student's response is evaluated, not for its correctness, but for its authenticity and for its depth of insight. Now, this particular koan, that all beings are primarily Buddhas, invites the practitioner to explore the nature of their own being and to help them recognise the inherent Buddhahood in all beings. And it seeks to challenge dualistic thinking, the thinking that separates self from others, enlightened and unenlightened. And it encourages a direct realization of the oneness of all existence. So, in this sense, the koan is not just a statement of truth, but it is a living practice that can lead to a profound transformative or transformation of consciousness. Now, these koans, they also have a philosophical implication. And in this particular statement, that all beings are primarily Buddhas, it carries a profound philosophical implication, and implications that resonate deeply with the core of the teachings of the Mahayana Buddhism, and in particular with Zen. Now, one of the key ideas it touches upon is the concept of non-duality, which is central to Zen thought. Non-thought refers to the understanding that all distinctions, such as self and other, or subject and object, are simply ultimately illusionary. And in the realm of ultimate truth, there is no separation between beings. All are interconnected. All are a part of the same underlying reality. Now, it's this non-dual perspective that is a hallmark of Zen teachings. And this particular koan, that all beings are primarily Buddhas, it serves as a reminder of this particular fundamental truth. And by asserting that all beings are Buddhas, the koan challenges the dualistic thinking that sees some beings as enlightened and then others as unenlightened. It encourages practitioners to look beyond the superficial, beyond superficial appearances, and to recognise the inherent Buddha nature, particularly within themselves, but also within others as well. And it's this recognition that can lead to a profound shift in how one relates to the world. And this can foster a sense of compassion, humility, and also interconnectedness. Another philosophical implication of the koan is that it challenges the conventional understanding of enlightenment itself. In many spiritual traditions, enlightenment is seen as a distant goal that requires years of practice and years of effort to try and attain. However, the koan suggests that enlightenment is not something to be attained, but rather it is simply something to be realised. Something that is already present with each and every being, and it is simply there waiting to be uncovered. And it is this particular perspective that aligns with the Zen teaching of sudden enlightenment, which holds that awakening can occur in an instant when one fully realises their own true nature. So, this particular koan that all beings are primarily Buddhas, serves as a direct pointer to the truth, encouraging practitioners to simply awaken to their inherent Buddhahood in the present moment. Now, there are a number of practical applications as well of this particular koan. So, in this particular koan, all beings are primarily Buddhas, is not just a philosophical statement, but is also a practical tool that can help awaken. A tool for awakening that can be applied in everyday life. Now, it's by reflecting on this koan and internalising its message that practitioners can cultivate a deeper awareness of their own Buddha nature and also the Buddha nature of others. One practical application of the koan is the practice of mindfulness. Now, by recognising that all beings are Buddhas, one can simply approach each moment with a sense of reverence and respect. And this is whether interacting with others or performing daily tasks or simply sitting in meditation. The awareness of Buddha nature can transform ordinary activities into opportunities for awakening. For example, interpersonal relationships, okay? The recognition of Buddha nature can lead to greater compassion and empathy. When we see others as Buddhas, then we are less likely to judge them based on their superficial characteristics or their external appearance or their behaviours. Instead, we can look deeper, recognising their inherent goodness and their potential for awakening. And it is this shift in perspective that can help to dissolve conflicts, reduce misunderstandings, and maybe even foster a connection and harmony. In meditation practice, the koan can serve as a powerful focus for our contemplation. And by repeatedly reflecting on this particular statement, that all beings are primarily Buddhas, it's then that one can gradually penetrate these layers of conditioned thinking and give us the opportunity to come to a direct realisation of our Buddha nature. But this realization is not something that can be grasped intellectually. It is a direct, non-conceptual experience that arises from the depths of one's own being. The koan can also be applied in the context of even the social environment, social and environmental actions. Yeah? Recognising that all beings are Buddhas. And we are all called to act with compassion and wisdom. Not only towards other human beings, but towards all forms of life. And it's this perspective. This perspective encourages a sense of responsibility for the well-being of the planet and all of its inhabitants, and even fostering a commitment to sustainable living, social justice, and the protection of the natural world. But this koan also has a transformative potential. Okay. A transformative potential in recognising Buddha nature. Now, the recognition of Buddha nature, as suggested by the koan that all beings are primarily Buddhas, has the potential to bring about profound transformation in both the individual and also on collective levels. Now, on an individual level, this recognition can help lead to a deep sense of inner peace, a deep sense of contentment, and even a freedom from suffering and discontentment in our lives. And when we realise our true nature as Buddhas, we are no longer bound by the ego's fears, desires, and attachments. We can overcome them. And instead we live with a sense of ease and joy, knowing that our essential nature is pure. And it is unconditioned, and that our essential nature is whole. And it's this realisation that also brings with it a sense of humility and gratitude. Recognising that we are already Buddhas, we see there is nothing to attain and nothing to strive for. So we can let go of this endless pursuit of self-improvement and simply rest in the awareness of our own true nature. Now, this does not mean we become complacent or indifferent. Rather, it means that we tend to act from a place of wholeness and completeness, rather from a lack of, or a sense of a lack of deficiency. And then on a collective level, the recognition of Buddha nature can lead to a more compassionate and harmonious society. And when we see others as Buddhas, then we are less likely to engage in behaviours that cause harm or perpetuate suffering. Instead, we are motivated to act in ways that simply support the well-being of all beings. And it's this shift in consciousness that has the potential to transform not only our personal relationships, but also our social institutions, helping to create a world that reflects the values of compassion, the values of wisdom and interconnectedness. So, recap. The Zen koan, all beings are primarily Buddhas, simply encapsulates the profound truth that lies at the heart of the Zen practice and the Mahayana Buddhist tradition. And by challenging our conventional ways of thinking, and it also invites us to recognise the inherent Buddha nature within ourselves and also others. So this particular koan offers a pathway to awakening that is both simple but also profound. And through the practice of meditation, practice of mindfulness, and the practice of contemplation of koans, we can begin to see the world, or see beyond the superficial layers of the world, superficial layers of our ego-driven identities, and connect with a deeper reality of our true selves, or of our own true nature. Now, this realisation is not something that can be attained. It can't be attained through effort or striving, as it's already present within us, simply waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be realised, waiting to be actualised. And as we begin to internalise the wisdom of the koan, all beings are primarily Buddhas, we can cultivate a sense of compassion. We can cultivate a sense of humility and also a sense of interconnectedness that transforms not only our own lives, but also the world around us. And it's in recognising our inherent Buddhahood that we come to see that there is no separation between self and others. And that all beings are a part of the same vast, interconnected web of existence. And in the end, the koan serves as a powerful reminder of the potential for awakening that simply exists within each of us. And it's by embracing this truth and living in accordance with it that we can awaken to the fullness of our true nature, of our potential, and realise the profound peace and joy and freedom that come from knowing that we are, and knowing that we always have been Buddhas.